Namaskar. Today we will discuss about the groundwater and well hydraulics. Now in this lesson we will apply the Darcy law for the groundwater flow. Darcy law and fundamental equation governing the groundwater flow now can be applied for a particular solution. Groundwater flow to a wells ranks highest in importance. By pumping test, the characteristic aquifer such as storativity, transmissibility is determined. Further, the decline in groundwater level in future from these characteristics can be calculated. Well flow equations have been developed for steady and non-steady conditions, for various types of aquifers and for several boundary conditions. For practical application, solutions have been reduced to graphic or mathematical forms. Pumping test is very important. It is conducted in the field. So, when by pumping test we determine these aquifer parameters, they are more reliable. First, for the conducting a pumping test, a site should be selected for a pumping well. How we will select a site for the pumping well? Because if we will conduct a pumping test in unsuitable site, our results will be erroneous or not reliable. So, precaution should be made in selection of the site of the pumping test. For selection of the site of the pumping test, we will obtain a water table contour map of that area if it is available there. This will help us, because water table contour map will give you the hydrogeological conditions or groundwater conditions of that area. In this, we can determine the hydrologic properties of the aquifer by the spacing of the contours. What is the porosity, permeability, in qualitatively we can get from this, and we can also get what is the direction of movement of the groundwater, where is the groundwater mound or where is the groundwater discharge area. So, shape of the water table also tell you about these things. So, by the help of water table contour maps, we will select a site for pumping well, and pumping well is drilled there with the precautions. After the drilling of the pumping wells, we draw a line perpendicular to that will show towards the downstream side, and that line will be passed from this pumping well. So, this line we will drill our observation wells. In pumping test, one observation well is sufficient, but for determination of the distance drawdown method, we will drill more tube wells on the upstream side and some more tube wells. So, actually we will drill 3 tube wells on upstream side and 3 tube wells on downstream side of the pump well. Now, the first well observation well on upstream side and downstream side, their distance should not be less than the thickness of the aquifer there, so that reliable T and S can be determined from the pumping well data. Now, we should also see that pumping well should be away from the recharge areas such as stream, ponds, lakes. Otherwise, what will happen if we will conduct the pumping test, recharge took place and we will not get the reliable data of aquifer parameters. After the conducting the pumping test, we will pump a well and we will measure the drawdown in the observation well, water table in the observation well. So, this is about the selection of the pumping test. A drawdown is the distance for the pumping level, or you can say this is the difference between the original water table level, water table or pressure surface to the pumping level at that time. Here in pumping test, two types of conditions comes, unsteady state condition and non-steady state condition. So, in both the condition there is a decline of the water table, and in 3 dimension if you will see this decline of the water table, this drawdown curve in 3 dimension represents a conic shape, and this conic shape is known as cone of depression. So, cone of depression is there, and the distance between pump well and observation well is known as area of influence, and it is denoted by a small letter r. Drawdown is denoted by a small letter s. It is measured in meter or feet. We will study about the unsteady unidirectional flow. Unidirectional means a study of the flow in one direction. I have told you that when we seen the Darcy's law and we have taken the rectangular coordinate, flow in 3 direction, in x direction, y direction and z direction, our Laplace equation was d square h upon dx square plus d square h upon dy square plus d square z d square h upon dz square equal to 0. This we have seen. So, here we are taking unidirectional flow, means in one direction, in only x direction. So, it will be here d square h upon dx square equal to 0. Now, here figure is given. In this figure, these 3 wells are tapping confined aquifer, water flow as the velocity v, and at the distance r there is a, we determine the hydraulic head, that is the h head of the. So, if you see here d square h upon dx square equal to 0, it will give you hydraulic head equal to C1 x plus C2. C1 and C2 are the integrating constant. So, here if so this is at the head is at x distance from the well. So, suppose h become h0, then x equal to become x0. We will take it dh upon dx equal to, that is the hydraulic gradient equal to minus v upon x. So, h equal to here minus vx upon k. It means the pressure surface decline linearly in a steady state condition in a confined aquifer. So, we are considering here first confined aquifer for the steady state condition, that is a steady unidirectional flow we are considering. So, this is about the unidirectional flow in confined condition. Now, we will take unidirectional flow in unconfined condition. In unconfined condition, what will happen? Because there is a gravity drainage. So, if gravity drainage took place, a figure is given here and you are seeing that there is a unconfined aquifer on between 2 water bodies there at the upstream side, at the downstream side. If you see this figure, you will set H0 is the head on the upstream side, H is the head in computed water table, and H1 is the downstream side. We will consider here. So, here what will happen? Water table is in parabolic form. Dupont, given the assumption, he told that shape of the water table will govern the flow of the groundwater, and sometimes flow of the water table tells about the water table contour shape. Here he has assumed that the flow is horizontal and uniform everywhere. The groundwater flow is tangent to the hydraulic gradient instead of the sign. In this diagram, I am describing this diagram which is given in the text, that the flow Q equal to here KH K into H dH upon dx, where H is the head, x is the distance. So, this H is the x distance from the H0. If x equal to 0, then H equal to H0. So, when we integrate it, Qx equal to K upon 2 H square plus C. C is the integration constant square. So, this equation is known as Dupuit equation, and it shows that water table is in parabolic form. So, between two water bodies, you can see this is sloping towards the downstream water body, and so there is a seepage pace. So, actual water table is above and computed water table is below this. You can see here velocity of water are horizontal, but actually they are not horizontal, they are slightly inclined. So, there is a seepage pace. So, this is about the confined aquifer. Now, we can determine the base flow to a stream. 4.3 figure is there. If you see this figure, two parallel streams are there. So, we can determine the base flow. What is the base flow? Base flow is nothing but the groundwater recharge or groundwater runoff, or groundwater is discharged into the river. So, means what is the quantity of water furnished to these streams, we can calculate. We have got equation there, it is given in the Q equal to KH dH upon dx, or Q equal to W into x. So, when we write the equation by putting this value of Q equal to Wx, H square equal to H A square plus W upon K, A square minus X square. These A, X, H A and H, they are given in the diagram. These subscripts are given in the diagram, you can see there. So, then QB means base flow equal to 2AW. We can calculate where W is the rate of recharge. So, here if H is known as the head between two stream water table, and if K is known, so this is about the base flow to a stream. Steady radial flow to a well. Steady means equilibrium conditions. For confined aquifer, the diagram is given that it is penetrating a confined aquifer. Here we will use our Darcy's law. See this diagram. So, R is there, dou H upon dr is there, the thickness of the aquifer is B, diameter of the well is 2RW. At the distance of R, this is the head is the H, distance is H0 is there. So, he is here Q equal to A into V, and this equal to 2 pi R B K dou H upon dou R. So, when we consider the boundary condition at the well and boundary condition at the edge of the iceland, here because H at the edge of the well H equal to HW, then R equal to 0. If H equal to H0, then R equal to R0. So, from integrating it, we will get Q equal to 2 pi B K H0 minus HW upon ln R0 upon RW. Suppose this is in Iceland, so it is R0. So, area of influence is limited here, but suppose we are penetrating a very extensive aquifer, R is infinity, then in equation Q equal to 2 pi K H0 minus HW upon ln R upon RW. This equation is known as Thieme equation. So, Thieme, a scientist, has given this equation in 1906, and it is a equation of equilibrium condition, or this is known as a Thieme method. So, if another figure you will see, this figure radial flow penetrating a extensive aquifer, confined aquifer. Now, here in the sea there is a pump well and two observation wells are situated at the distance of R1, second is at the distance of R2. The diameter of his pump well is 2 RW, and here the head is H1 in first observation well, H2 in second observation well. Distance of the aquifer is B. So, here we can determine the T by the formula T equal to K into V. This is our, I have told you when the hydrologic properties, that T equal to K into B, where K is the hydraulic conductivity and B is the thickness of the aquifer. So, this equal to Q upon 2 pi H2 minus H1 into ln R2 upon R1. ln means Neperian logarithm to the base e. It can be converted into decimal logarithm, or from this figure you can say this is equal to T equal to Q upon 2 pi S1 minus S2 into ln R2 upon R1. So, S1 is the drawdown in first observation well, S2 is drawdown in second observation well. R1 is the distance of first observation well, R2 is the distance of the second observation well. So, this for confined aquifer. Now, similarly, a well penetrating a unconfined aquifer, we can apply this Darcy law there also, and we can determine the T. So, in this also we will write here, you see now thickness in confined aquifer was B, but thickness in unconfined aquifer is H0 here. So, you see another diagram given to you which is penetrating the unconfined aquifer. There are two observation wells similar to the confined aquifer, situated as R1 at R2, hydraulic head is H2, H1 and H2 in both, H0 is the thickness of the aquifer here, diameter is 2 RW, at the distance R the head is the H. So, here we will see that Q equal to A into V, A into V equal to 2 pi R H K dH upon dr. Then by boundary condition, finally, you will get Q equal to pi K H0 square minus HW square upon ln R2 upon R1. So, this equation can be used to determine the T in the unconfined aquifer. T equal to K into B. What is B here? B is here because it is a unconfined aquifer. So, B is the H0 here. So, T equal to K into H0 equal to Q upon 2 pi S1 minus S1 square upon 2 H0 minus S2 square upon 2 H0 into ln R2 upon R1. So, from this equation you can determine the T for the unconfined aquifer. So, this is steady radial flow to a well in confined aquifer, and in confined aquifer means we have studied the equilibrium formula, equilibrium method that is given by the Thies in the year 1906. So, this is known as Thies equilibrium method. It requires too much time to stabilize the water level in the well. So, sometimes 4 days, 5 days, 6 days we are pumping a well, and suppose equilibrium conditions are not getting, then we can apply this, we cannot apply this formula. So, this is time consuming also, but where after few hours pumping or 1 day or 2 day hours pumping, if you are getting the equilibrium condition, you can apply this Thies method, no problem. But so, another method, Thies method, that is applicable for the non-equilibrium condition. So, a aquifer we are pumping and we are not getting the equilibrium conditions or water table is not stabilizing, we can also determine the T and S aquifer parameter. This method are given by the Thies, by the Cooper and Jacob, and by the Cho. So, pumping test is the same, either this is the solution of the pumping test data or analysis of the pumping test data. If you doing analysis of pumping test data according to the Thies equation, this is a Thies method. If you are doing pumping analysis data by Jacob Cooper method, it is a Cooper Jacob method or by Cho method. So, these are the different methods of solution. Pumping test data are the same, pumping test conducted in the field is the same. So, in the Thies method we have got equation polar coordinate. We have studied this equation d square h upon dr square plus 1 upon r dou h upon dou r equal to s upon t dou h upon dou t. For this equation, Thies in the year 1935, he has given a graphic solution. So, what he thinks, there is an analogy between groundwater flow and the heat conduction. So, by assuming that the well is sink by the mathematical and at the constant strength and for imposing the boundary condition h equal to h 0 when t equal to 0, when h tends to h 0, r will be the infinity and t will be greater than 0. Then he has developed he has given a equation, that is drawdown small s, this is drawdown, equal to q upon 4 pi t integrated u to the power infinity e minus u du upon u, where u equal to r square s upon 4 t small t. So, what is small t? Here time since pumping began started. Capital T is the transmissibility, small s is the drawdown, u is the exponential integral. So, this formula he has given. So, what is the advantage of this formula? Then the this method, non-equilibrium method, here we can determine the S. S means storativity of the aquifer. Short period of pumping is required. Only one observation well is there, right. These are the some advantages of the non-equilibrium method. But here Thies has given the assumptions. If these assumptions a aquifer is satisfied, then we can apply this formula. And these methods which we are discussing are only applicable in the small diameter well. For large diameter well, another method is given, I will tell you. So, whatever these method we are studying, Thiem method, Thies method, these are for the small diameter wells. Now, so what are the assumptions? We should know these assumptions, otherwise we cannot apply the Thies equation or other methods. So, first assumption that a aquifer which is given by the Thies, that a aquifer should be homogeneous, isotropic, uniform in thickness and of infinite aerial extent. Second, before pumping, the piezometric surface should be horizontal. Third, well should be pumped at the constant rate. The diameter of the should be small, so that there is no effect of the storage. The well should be penetrate the entire thickness of the aquifer. When discharge, water should be discharged instantaneously with the decline of the head. These are the 6 assumptions given by the Thies. So, these are applicable for the Thiem method also. When we apply the Thiem method, we can apply. So, these are the Thies method. So, for that equation which is given, Thies has given the solution. So, there is a Thies solution of the for this equation which I have told you. He has given a graphic method. So, this equation he has changed, a small s equal to q upon 4 pi t into Wu. Wu is a Bell function and the symbolic form of exponential integral u. So, you see here Wu is there. So, he has given the value of Wu and u, small u. So, by these values which are given in the table, we can prepare a standard curve or master curve first. Then after preparation of this master curve, we will plot the data r square t, r square small t, time since pumping started, r is the radius of distance between pump well and the observation well, versus drawdown on the log paper of the same size as we have prepared the standard curve on which we have plotted Wu versus u. So, this is a Thies plot is on the log paper. So, when we plot the curve data, pumping test data on the log paper, we will get a curve this curve is known as experimental curve. When we superpose this experimental curve with the standard curve, then we will see which portion of the curve is matching with the standard curve. The precaution is that coordinate axes of both curve, means standard curve and the experimental curve, should be parallel. When you are keeping these axes parallel to each other, then you match your experimental curve with the, otherwise curve will match, but your axes are not parallel, this will be become wrong, this will be the wrong thing and you will not get the correct data. So, this is the precaution in the, so this is also known as curve matching technique. So, on the matching part of the curve, by keeping the axis horizontal, you mark any point there on the matching portion of the, or matching part of the curve, that will be the match point. From this match point, from the standard curve, you read the value of W and U, and from the experimental curve, you reach the value of S and R square by T. So, when you put this value in our equation, that is Thies equation. So, what is Thies equation? T equal to Q upon 4 pi T into W U. W U value got it, so you can determine the T, and S equal to 4 capital T U upon R square by T, or 4 T small t, capital T into small t upon R square, you can get the S. So, I have told you what is the unit of the T here, it is meter square per day, because rate Q, what is Q? Q is the rate of discharge, it is measured in the cubic meter per day. So, you will get T value in meter square per day, but S has no unit, I have told you it is a dimensionless ratio. So, you can get T and S by the Thies solution or by the Thies method. So, this is a graphic method of solution given by the Thies. Now, coming to the second method, that is Cooper-Jacob method. This is a not new method, this is a modification, we can say that the modification of the Thies method. How it is modified? When a small value of R and large value of T, the value of U is small, S equal to Q upon 4 pi T minus 0.5772 minus ln U plus U minus U square upon 2.2 plus U Q upon 3. This is a convergent series. After this first series, you see the other becomes negligible. So, we can consider small s equal to 2.3 q 4 pi t into log 2.25 t upon r square. So, this small t can be written as T0. So, small s equal to 2.3 q upon 4 pi t into log 2.25 T0 upon r square. So, when we plot draw down small s versus t time, we will get a straight line. So, this value 2.25 T0 upon r square equal to 1. What is the formula become here? S equal to 2.25 T0 upon r square. So, you can determine S by this method. So, when we plot drawdown versus time in days on the semi-log paper, we will get a straight line. From this straight line, we can calculate the delta S. Delta S is the difference per log cycle of the time. When you get the delta S, and by keeping this delta S in this equation, T equal to 2.30 q upon 4 pi delta S, you will get the value of T. So, if q is in cubic meter per day, then T will be come in the meter square per day. So, in this lesson we have studied the pumping test methods of Thies and Jacob, which are important in the pumping test, and theme method and unidirectional flow. Bell Hydrilics is very important for the groundwater hydrology. So thank you very much for this.